and welcome to West Ham Reunited. I'm Jazz, and today's a bit different. I'm without kind of Andy, so Andy's at the ground at the moment. So hopefully, if we don't have any issues, he might be able to jump on and give his live reaction on what's going on at the moment. So before we get started, let's kind of talk about our sponsors first. So let's get the banners up. Any of your windows, doors, conservatories or anything like that, you can get hold of Glazewise Limited, mention our name and get a discount. This is the time of the year when you've got to think about those kind of things. And I'm supporting food banks, doing a great job, especially around Christmas. So give them support, especially John. He's always near the ground outside, a couple of hours before. Go around there and it'll be great. Let me just have a look at something. Just trying to get hold of something. Hang on. Okay, let's have a look. So basically, we're just watching the game and 88 minutes gone. I mean, if we look at the scores, 1-0 down. From what I'm hearing from fans, it's not been good. It's been a bit of a struggle. A lot of the players have looked a bit lethargic. I think Antonio's looked tired. I believe Fornells has gone off. So if we have a look at the starting lineup as expected, I think team that's been in sort of more or less every game, really. A lot of substitutions, which is a little bit unlike David Moyes. That perhaps kind of tells you how the game has gone, really. So let me just sort this out 1 minute. There we go. Hang on. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so Lanzini, he's come on for Fornells after 59 minutes. Vlasic, he's replaced Benrahma after 71 minutes. Yarmolenko's come on for Bowen after 71 minutes. And they've kind of, Adam Touré's on it. Still 1-0, so it doesn't seem to have worked. If you look at the stats, I think we were very poor first half from what I've been told. Possession 46% in Wolves' favour. Goal attempts, 14 goal attempts by Wolves. 9 by us. So we kind of caught up with that stat. I think we started well, but then they've been kind of back into it, really. So let's see who's joining us. Okay, Facebook user, flat today deserve what we got. On to the next. That's what I think, Facebook user. I think we've had a good season and you can't do well in all the games, especially considering our squad. So we'll see what happens. We're still playing, still hope. Let's see if we can get anything out of the game. Hi, Simon. How you doing, mate? You all right? Hope everything's well, mate, considering everything, really. Still 1-0. If we have a look at the key sort of moments of the game, I think the last key moment, I believe, the website's telling me, is that after 70 minutes, Jarrod Bowen picks up the ball in space and from inside the penalty area sends a shot narrowly over the bar. Ball goes out of play. Wolves have a goal kick. Bowen, I think, has had a couple of chances. Jimenez goal, I believe the description is he gets a shot away from the edge of the box, scores in the bottom left-hand corner. Daniel Podence provided an assist. I've been seeing that name, Podence, throughout the game, so he's had a good game, I think. Kurt Zuma, 44 minutes. Apparently he thought he'd scored a goal, but it was ruled out, I believe, for a foul. I mean, if you were at the game, or perhaps we speak to Andy, we can ask him whether that was a foul or not. Let's have a look. The other, Moutinho, first half, had a couple of shots. Bowen, for 12 minutes, had a chance, displayed good awareness near the penalty spot to get on the end of a cross, but he sends his header narrowly wide of the left post. So 91 minutes now. Yellow card to Declan Rice, 86 minutes. They're beginning to do more substitute, perhaps. I mean, if you look at the table now, everyone, I mean, hopefully, if Liverpool more or less win at Arsenal, then we'll still have that three point cushion, because I think if you look at the other scores, I think Man United are still losing 2-1, really. So we'll keep that 3 point gap. But then Wolves have gone above Man United to 6th place with 19. So that's kind of where we are with that. Let's see who else is joining us. Let's have a look. I think Cyber Leader. Afternoon, sir. How you doing? You all right? Everything considering, we're going to get stuck sometimes, aren't we? And I think it could have been a lot worse, what I've been told. So you never know. 92 minutes gone. Let me see how many added points does the website tell me. Let's have a look. Perhaps we're going to No, don't quite know how many added on time it's going to be. Come a West Ham, try to get a point if we can. Yeah, joint. Chelsea are 6 clear of us. City, same points, haven't played. Liverpool going to go perhaps above us. Wolves, 6th place Wolves. Wow, to 19 points. Still 4 points behind us. So I know it doesn't sound good saying it, but perhaps with all the wins we've had, perhaps it's kind of like a cushion, really. So looks like we're going to lose, but the way the results have gone, we're still in the top 4 and still got a cushion. So bad day at the office, but I'm always kind of keen that we get back in the team, really. And so you never know. Yep, Cyber, we are poor. That's what I've been hearing, mate. Yeah. We're only human, and the team has astonished me, the squad, in 2.5 years, what they've done. But they do need help, especially with the international window, really. Yeah, well, can't see it happening, but you never know, mate. You never know. We'll see what happens, really. So let's see if anyone else is going to join me. The naughty boys are a bit late. Let's see what they're up to. So Andy's gone up there with our good friends, West Ham Fans TV, Nikki and Ryan, everyone, and our good friend of the channel, Mike. So hopefully, let's see. If we lose, it's not going to be a very nice journey back, but hopefully they can give us a good sort of insight. Something's happened at the Watford game, I think. I don't know what, but I'll let you guys know. Okay, so I think 1 or 2 other guests will come on once the game finishes. So, Watford have scored. It's 3-1, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, that's put that one to bed, isn't it? Well, I know when we did our sort of show last night, I think Ian predicted sort of Watford win, and I wasn't quite sure. Because you always keep thinking, with all the players Man United have got, that surely he can't carry on. But it certainly looks like that Ollie has lost the dressing room. But every time I say that, they go and get a win in Europe, and then he stays again. And I've been told that Antonio sort of Conte, he was waiting for Man United, and they keep on just undecisive. And they told him, let's give him, Conte, can you wait another 4 weeks? And don't know how long you can wait, really. And he's got the Tottenham job, and that's another manager who lost. Poch in the past was linked with them, but he did a great job at Spurs. And you can tell what a great job he done, because since then they've not really done much, have they? Really? Sort this screen out, everyone. Let's have a look. That's better. There we go. Ricky, my man. Ricky, what's happened, mate? How you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Yeah, what can you do, Ricky? But like I was saying, we've had a good season. We've got a cushion, so we can. I know it's not nice, and you shouldn't say it, but we can afford a result like today because everyone else is kind of losing, and we're still in the top 4. And I can't see Arsenal beating Liverpool. You never know, but unless that happens, we're going to stay where we are. Drop down to 4th, I think, but we've still got a nice 4-point cushion over Wolves, 6 ahead of Man United. It would have been great if we'd won today. Can you imagine sort of 6 clear of Arsenal and kind of 9 clear of the team in 6th place? Wow. But it happens. I'm sure David Moyes will kind of have a go and speak to them, really. Norwich have won. So amazing what it's finished. It's finished, everyone. Oh, well, not too happy, but Wolves are kind of, I think they're 8th now, are they? Yeah. Not bad. So I think it's 1-0, and I don't think we've kind of did anything, I think, to come back. I can't see anything like a close shot, a corner, someone's hit the post. It's just been a really bad day at the office. I don't think the substitutions have done anything, which is really, really not good. People like Vlasic, they need to sort of make themselves count, You've not played a lot. Come on, try to make something happen, and it just hasn't really. And I was saying before that this is a kind of a Brentford Leeds game all wrapped in one. You got to respect these teams. They're going to scrap. Their formation, I was nervous about Wolves' formation, It's just difficult to set up against 3-4-2-1. And that's been kind of the case, really. Ricky? Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Hello, mate. Sorry, I'm just had a bit of construction in the house, so I'm just getting my headphones. Give me 1 sec.
That's all right, mate. That's all right. It's just finished. It's just finished.
1 second, mate.
Yeah, it's just finished anyway. 1-0, mate. Good afternoon, James. Good afternoon, sir.
No, it's not a good afternoon, mate. That was one of the worst performances I've seen West Ham play in about 2 years.
4-1, Watford. Watford just got fourth. 4-1. Good. Yeah, James, I was hearing. I don't think the subs looks like didn't make any difference either. None of them did anything. I can't see.
I watched the whole game. I watched the whole game on a string from start to finish. And I'll tell you something now, right? There's only 2 people who can have any credit tonight, and that is Ben Johnson and Fabianski. The rest of them, I include Declan Rice in that, are all fucking useless. Absolutely shite.
That formation was making me nervous last night. 3-4-2-1. I mean, how do you tackle that? Do you think we should have changed something? You think?
They was all poor, all of them, every single one of them. Right? Ben Johnson, I can give a bit of credit to because at least he was trying to put crosses in the box. Right? Cresswell passing the ball to no one. Right? Zuma even was bad today. Right? Dawson, don't get me started with Dawson. Right? Don't. Right? Souček. Right, if people don't understand, this geezer's not fit or he's just not on it. Right, Rice, right, he wasn't there, and then get to the front four now. But now this is where it is going to get fun. So I thought Ben Rama's passing was absolutely horrendous. I thought Fornells was still at the hospital with his missus. Right? I think give Bowen his due. He tried, and he had the best 3 chances that West Ham had in the game. And then Antonio, like anyone who says to me we don't need a striker is deluded. I'm sorry, but they are.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I think. Mitchell's on. Oh, we've got full house.
Hello.
Let you guys get on with it. Yeah, what do you think, Mitchell?
Don't it's so fucking dark in this house.
Put some coins in the meter, man. What are you doing?
No, I think we had a power cut earlier.
Oh,
fucking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was late, Jazz. They're installing a window, mate, and builders they always arrive late and sit down and have a cup of tea before they start.
Yeah, Mitchell. I mean, what do you think now? What's your comments, mate? Just finished 1-0. I was saying earlier on, the only positive is because we've done so well up to this point, we've got a bit of a cushion over the teams in 5th, 6th, 7th. So we're still going to be on top 4 at the end of the weekend. And yeah, it's not good to say you want to lose any game, but perhaps we can kind of just move on and kind of hopefully pick up again, really. Yeah, like you said, same team. Dawson came in. James, you were saying, like Dawson, what did you notice about him? Was it the pace of their front 3 that was positioning?
He's just not good. He's not good enough, mate. Like when he's up against decent players, I thought Dawson, this would be a good game for him, right? But they tore him a new one. Cann and Jimenez and fucking whoever else was in there. I've got to try and keep cool because I watched that game and I'm absolutely raging, Jazz, and I respect you greatly, mate. But I just don't understand it. And it ain't just Dawson; it's all of them, near enough, right? They was all over the place. Antonio was shocking. And anyone who, as I said, anyone who says that we don't need a striker, I'm sorry, but go and watch that game back 90 minutes, and that's the reason why we need a backup striker, right? And it says it all, right? When Yarmolenko comes on, Yarmolenko and Vlasic changed the game. We played much better in the last sort of 10 minutes of the game, and to me says all. Says it all. 100%.
And it's West Ham way where we beat Liverpool and we've thrown it away, haven't we, at Wolves? You know, with all that good work and effort, and it is these type of games that make us nervous. The Brightons, the kind of the team today. When we're playing sort of like we got City, Chelsea coming up, we're perhaps going to be up for that. And when we play Brighton, that's the one that we're going to be worried about, isn't it? And Arsenal, of course, they always show up. So Cyber Leader says Duke should have started. I mean, I agree with James. Dawson is not a week in, week out player. He can come in and out as a sub, Europa, League Cup, FA Cup, really good. But to rely on him every week in the Premiership, I think perhaps is.
I just see a comment there from Mandy. Yeah, Can't blame Dawson. Go back and watch Dawson play today, and then come back and tell
me. Dawson? Are you fucking joking, mate?
Yeah, well, can I say one thing here? I agree. You know what? I would, like Jazz said, seeing that front three, I would have started Diop. I definitely think he was the better option there. And you know what I think is going to hurt us? It's something that maybe we didn't consider.
Wing backs, three at the back, maybe.
Yeah, and you know one thing that I noticed today, Zuma doesn't look as comfortable on the left-hand side. Maybe that's something we didn't consider when we knew that Bonner was going to be out. And to be honest, there was a couple of moments, I don't know if you remember that moment where Zuma made that dodgy back pass and nearly stuck Fabianski right in it, It could have quite easily gone in if he'd have hit it a little bit harder. But I mean, Zuma, I think that was his worst game for us, and I think it was because he was on the left-hand side. So I think that's going to hurt us, something that we maybe didn't consider, when Ogbonna went out. And maybe I think for the strength of the defence, I think Zuma should stay on the right-hand side because he's our primary centre-back nowadays. And maybe Diop come in on the left-hand side of defence because at the end of the day, or like Jazz says, go to three at the back. But I really do think that it's going to be crucial that we stick Zuma on the right-hand side of defence because we lost our rock today. And to be honest, Wolves with the third man running, the third man running absolutely tore us a new one because what happened was it was classic third man running 1-2 and the third man makes a movement.
Yeah, but we didn't help ourselves though, Matt. We didn't help ourselves. Kept going sideways and back, passing every 5 bloody minutes. Do you know what I mean?
And Jimenez's running today was back Jimenez at his best. You know what I mean? Jimenez's movement today was absolutely brilliant.
That's the difference. Sorry to butt in, Matt. Yeah.
No, mate.
But that is the difference between a top striker in Jimenez and Mikel Antonio. And I will not have this argument and people saying Antonio's this, Antonio's that. Antonio was non-existent today, right? Absolute nowhere to be seen, right? Couldn't hold the ball up, kept drifting wide again,
hey, James,
right?
That was it. Sorry, but I meant that was it. Drifting wide. I mean, half of the game, Antonio was on the wing. Half of the game, and it's crossing in the middle. I mean, you don't want to be depending. I mean, that's where he was drifting a lot to the left-hand side. That's why you want Creswell putting those balls in. But I mean, Antonio put 2 or 3 crosses in to no one. I mean, they weren't even crosses. They were just.
Antonio was still in Jamaica, mate. Antonio's spirit and football ability was still in Jamaica. His body was over here.
Yeah, me and James have been concerned about Antonio for a while, but he keeps getting away with it by the odd goal. I know it's not just
100%, 100%.
He hasn't got bad positioning. I mean, half the time we don't know where he is, and then he wakes up second half, and after we set him up 6 times, he gets one of those 6 in, and then he's a hero. And
that's it.
It's frustrating.
What Jazz is saying there, Jazz, you're absolutely bang on, bruv. Right? I am so angry today; it's unreal. Right? I cannot believe how bad they all were, all of them. Yeah. And I can only say 2 players who played decent today: Fabianski, who kept the score down, and Ben Johnson, who I thought played pretty decent. Every time he got the ball, he was looking to cross it in the box or get up the pitch and all that. The rest of them, even Deck today, was poor. Yeah. And I love Declan Rice as much as the next man, right? It was just poor. It was just poor.
The way that Fabianski stood up against Jimenez with that little dinky chip, that was brilliant. I mean, that was
great save in the second half. 2 great saves.
That was crucial. But like they put in there, Joan. International breaks do us no favor. We've seen that time and time again. It's
not an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
But that's where for me, Moyes should be more intelligent because at the end of the day, we've talked about repeatedly here. Souček's off form. He's slow. I mean, he looks not only physically tired but mentally tired. Then he goes international break. They play him full time, and he comes back. And like we say, where's Crowell? Why don't
the problem is Antonio should never have started today, right? He should never have started. Matt, you're all the way in Mexico, mate. If I turned around and said to you, Matt, I need you back here by Tuesday for a game of football, right? No. You ain't going to feel like 100% doing it, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, let me tell you one thing, mate. It's a 10-hour flight, and let me tell you, you get off a flight because I do it regularly, not in COVID, but I used to do it twice a year. You get off that flight that's from the Americas to London Heathrow or wherever you're coming in, Gatwick. It's a 10-hour flight, mate. And let me tell you one thing. Your legs are tired. You know what I mean? Your legs are tired. And I mean, just me getting in a car, then going to my house with my parents, knackers me. You know what I mean? Getting off the plane. I can't even imagine plus the jet lag, mate, because the jet lag is worse going from the US back to the UK or the Americas back to the UK than vice versa. You come from Europe to the Americas and you're absolutely fine with the time difference. But going back, that 6 hours time difference really hurts. It does. And I can tell you that as someone that did it regularly. And I can't even imagine playing a professional game.
And isn't it embarrassing how we're spending, was it 50 grand private jet because we've got no one else? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just.
Everyone must have been laughing like,
yes.
You know.
But the thing is, he can keep dropping 6 out of 10 performances every game, like he's been doing for the last 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
And he can still fucking play. There's no one to kick him up the arse. Yeah. Honestly, Moyes needs to really go into Antonio after today's performance because he's been getting. He started the season well. Since then, he's gradually been getting worse and worse. He seems to be getting slower and slower, more sluggish. His passes are wayward. His shots are wayward.
Yeah.
And he's got no one to sit on the bench and go, that's it, I'm going to come on for you. Because he knows he's guaranteed to start every fucking game.
Disabled team, that's correct. I think we're in a crucial point of the season here where we could become victims of our own success, because how many teams year after year in the Premier League start in the top 4 in the first 10, 11 games, and where do they end up after the rest of the season? You know what I mean?
Southampton last season.
This is
the thing is, though,
this is a key point.
The thing is, it ain't just Antonio, even though I agree with everything what Mitch said there, 1,000%. He's bang on the money. But where the fuck is Alex Krell? We've loaned this geezer from Spartak Moscow, right?
Definitely.
He goes and he's played more games for the Czech Republic than he has done for West Ham United Football Club. What is going on? I see people slagging off Yarmolenko. Don't slag off Yarmolenko. He come on today, done more than what Antonio done in 90 minutes.
100%. 100%.
Do you know what I mean? And like, this not. I just want to say this, Matt. You could come in, right?
No.
Yarmolenko played okay when he come on. Vlasic didn't really do a lot, but he was there, right? Lanzini done more, right? But people will praise Antonio up, yeah, when he done fuck all in 90 minutes and slag off Yarmolenko done more in 10 minutes. It makes no sense. It really does.
Take it away, mate. You're spot on there, mate.
No, and mate, I agree with all of what you guys have been saying, 100%. I mean, it's one of those ones that if you know in any job that you do, whether it's football or not, if you know that there's no pressure on you, you take a different attitude towards it, don't you? Because you know, if someone's up your ass, look at for example when Soufal came in for the cup game, played an absolute blinder, didn't he? Why? Because he knows he's got Johnson on his ass, and it's a real battle for that position. Soufal and Johnson. You know, there's a real battle for that position. You know, and right now, Souček can put in bad performances or bog standard performances, and where's Krau? You know, I mean, we don't know what's going on in the training ground, but for me, I mean, Krau's someone that we brought in, for me, in my opinion, that is the replacement for Declan Rice. I think that's what they brought him in with, the idea in case he ever leaves us, you know? Yeah. And I think that we need to get him involved. At the end of the day, we need to get him involved. And like, you know, the way the Wolves set up, we are stuck with a 4-2-3-1 that's worked us perfectly. But Wolves formation, they play the same way every time. And I think that we just weren't set up for them. You know, we just
don't like Jazz. Matt, when we was out of possession, 4-0 kept dropping into a 4-3-3 sort of system.
Exactly,
right? And sometimes even went to a 4-4-2. While I was watching, I could see when they was out of possession, they was all going back, Ben Marriner and Tony up front. The problem is when you got players who can't pass the ball, that's the first problem. Listen, I love Ben Marriner, but I thought he was shit and all today. And I will be digging him out big time. Right. I thought Bowen was the best one out of the 4 yet again, right? But he's no end product
as well.
Yeah, 4-0's was still in the hospital, as I keep saying, with his missus. And the thing is, right, there was too much of this sideways and back passing today. Too much sideways, back. Like, there was no energy, even Cresswell today, right? Cresswell goes from keeping Salah in his pocket to today, he can't pass a ball. And it's like, what is going on?
Only one good block, mate. The only thing Cresswell did was that great block that saved us. I mean, that block was absolutely phenomenal. I mean,
the England call-ups for him is a fucking joke, honestly. I can't even stress that. When I keep seeing England call-ups for Cresswell, it really drives my fucking nuts in.
I mean, how do you think the board feels by giving Krau and Vlasic, I mean, that's what David Moyes
Well,
wanted.
when Moyes is choosing Noble in the cup games over Crowell, when Crowell should be warming up in his games and getting used to the tactics, it's a fucking joke.
Why do you
Don't
want
give
him?
Noble his sympathy. We need to go for it this season. We've got a long season. So when you're playing people like Noble, who over Crowell, when you've got a long season and you need to try and implement Crowell into the system, it makes no sense.
The thing is, Jazz, the thing is, mate, let's be honest here. As fans, this is the best moment West Ham's ever had, right? Especially in my lifetime, right? You've got Alex Crowell who sits on our bench, right? And he's playing more for the Czech Republic than he has done for West Ham United, right?
Yeah.
You're asking Yarmolenko to come on to change the game, right? It ain't going to happen, is it?
No.
And today, it just proved it, right? If our 11 ain't on it, we are fucking bang average.
What did Vlasic do? Anything? Or
he had a good chance. The one that fell in front of him, if he'd have lunged forward or been half a step forward, right at the end, that would have been brilliant. I mean, he was just, but that's match fitness, isn't it? Going back to the same, that's match fitness. You know,
I don't think it was great.
That half a step, if he'd have taken half a step forward or lunged in, that would have been a goal, or at least we would have got a rebound.
Out of all the subs, Yarmolenko was trying. He was trying to beat a man, trying to do something. He was trying at least. Vlasic, he got bullied off the ball by Max Kilman. Fucking Max Kilman, who used to play National League. This is a man who used to play for Forest Green, I think it was, or some Bromley or someone like that in the National League, and he's getting bullied off the ball by. He's bullying Vlasic off the ball.
James, we made Traore look like Messi when he came on, to be honest, because Traore is one of these guys that's fallen from grace massively. You know what I mean? He's just become famous because he's hench, he's a big built guy, but he's dropped to the sub bench now for a long time for Wolves. But when he came on, he was moving around and we were making him look great. You know what I mean?
He's probably got no legs. We haven't got he plays on that right and in the middle. We came on. When you go on against like Souček, who is slow and pony in my opinion. And Vlasic, who is very lightweight, and then Cresswell, who's also slow and lightweight. He's going to make you look like Messi because the three players I mentioned there, Cresswell, Souček, and Vlasic, for where we want to be, that they shouldn't be starters.
No.
I mean, what about in the first half? Apparently, when Zuma scored, it's Antonio who's fouled the keeper. Was that necessary? Was it one of those silly things?
It was just a silly foul. Jazz. It's a foul. It is what it is. But I'll be honest with you, mate, and this is me, and I don't know whether Matt or Mitch will agree if they've seen it today, but we started playing on the 75th minute.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought the exact same thing. When the subs came on.
Exactly.
Why is that? Did you notice Rice? He had a little switch in him. He wasn't great all today, but as soon as the subs came on, he woke up a little bit.
Yeah, 100%.
How many times are we teams, especially remember against it was Brentford after one of the international breaks, wasn't it? Where we went against Brentford and we just looked like we didn't know how to play him in the first half, and it was only like after about 60 minutes, 70 minutes that we started playing in that time. This is the dangerous trend. We all hate the fucking international breaks. We all hate them, because at the end of the day, it's a real pain in the ass. Especially for us that don't have a big squad, it's very different from Man City.
But what it is, it's too much
like
luxury, don't it, Matt? There's too much
but the thing
that's what Mitch was saying. What Mitch is saying about Antonio is bang on. Because Antonio could go and do a 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 5 out of 10 each week, and he's playing the following week. And let's be honest, today, the first 10 minutes of watching that game, I went, he ain't fit. He's not on it at all. He's walking around. His
footwork, mate. Did you see his footwork? His footwork was terrible today. The way that he was controlling the ball out wide, and just getting it pinged off him and nicked off him. Yeah. It was really poor. And like you say, heavy legs. It looked, for me, mate, it looked like, when he was dragging wide and they were picking him off there, it was because he had heavy legs.
Yeah.
Going back to the disabled team comments, just one. Yeah, I don't think we're going to sign Crowell permanently. I don't think so.
No.
I don't understand it, Jazz. I want to see more of him.
Jazz, we've seen him play one game and a sub appearance in Genk, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
The one game that he played was in the League Cup against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and I thought he played bloody well in that game.
He scored, didn't he? He nearly scored.
He did. He was good, and he gives us that option as a defender as well. Because
he goes forward.
Yeah, but he's got a good vision of passing. And he can play as a centre-back in the worst-case scenario.
Do you know who I feel sorry for the most today? Right, I feel sorry for all them fans. Right, Andy's gone up there today. Yeah, because
My
they've just
uncle's
put
there.
in an absolute fucking howler of a performance. Absolute stonewall howler. Like, there's just... Jazz, I'll be honest with you, mate. If you watch it tonight, you'd be lucky if you see us on Match of the Day have
I don't think
two
I will,
chances.
mate. I don't. You three have saved me. I don't think I
No,
will.
you know what, mate? I normally watch the game back afterwards because the Sky here in Mexico repeat the games like crazy. I normally watch the game back, to get a better idea. Sometimes you pick up other things you didn't notice in the moment. But I'm not gonna do it, or at least I'm gonna have a good half a bottle of tequila before I do it.
I mean,
I'll tell you what. The last 15 minutes, Jazz. That is the only time I see West Ham going forward.
I mean, when it's half time, we all thought there's going to be reaction. And what this online report tells me is that Wolves came flying out the blocks in the second half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bianski made one or two great saves.
I agree.
And then the goal, it was a lethargic West Ham. So we didn't make any difference after half time.
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Cresswell done a fucking stupid pass or something. And then he was out of position.
Dawson, though.
Oh, was it Dawson? It was one of them.
Yeah, it was Dawson. But it's that same thing, James. Is what you call like the guys arriving in the second wave, those awkward buggers that stay on the edge of the box, and we've got caught out there before. And it's just that we've talked about it before. Guys that are not checking their shoulders when the second runners are coming in, because if I'm a defensive, that responsibility where Jimenez was positioned, that was Rice or Souček's position. That wasn't a centre-back's position to pick him up, because he was on the edge of the box. And if you look at there, we just weren't positioned well. We were out of position. And you look at the goal. People are not checking their shoulders to see who can come in behind them. And that's football 101. You know what I mean? That's football 101, mate. And it's really uncomfortable when you let those goals in of these guys arriving in late or taking up positions on the edge of the box. And he stroked the ball in. He stroked the ball in. I mean,
it was a good finish. It was a quality striker finish that someone like Antonio could never do.
Well, that comment from Jay Woods is true. He is just walking around when I see him at the OS. We'll go for an attack, and I'll tell my son, I can't see Antonio. Is he gone shopping? Where is he? And he's usually strolling on the halfway line, not making any effort to make a run. Very odd player.
Jazz, imagine if we had Arnautovic at his best in this team. When
I was thinking
Arnautovic
that earlier.
would pressure. Remember those sprints, and you see a beast like Arnautovic coming in, pressuring you.
Yeah,
and you know what? You know the difference of the best teams? We don't. When you get a striker, strikers pressure from the front. They press the man. But when you see strikers that press from behind to rush the defender into a rash pass, that's the real difference. You know what I mean? Because a defender comes out, and instead of Antonio strolling around, no, he should make that press from behind the defender to force him into an error. Do you know what I mean? And that's just not what we're not getting from him, because that's a real crucial aspect. If you look at guys like Patrick Bamford,
he shouldn't have played though, Matt, today. Antonio.
Oh no, but like we say, mate, who do we have?
It's crazy.
Thing is,
it's stupid.
Like, what I thought today was ideal for Bowen. I thought Bowen's going to have 2 weeks rest. He's going to be right up for it.
Yeah, that's a great idea, mate.
We've just signed a £33.5 million player, and he's getting on the pitch for 10, 15 minutes. You should say, right, Antonio, you just come back from Jamaica, second half, you come in on for 30 minutes, right? But it's this thing that I keep hearing, right, through doing the YouTube game and obviously speaking to people. Moyes won't drop him because Moyes is he loves him so much. Sorry, but if he's not putting in performances, right, and I do agree with what Mitchell says, because I am in the same boat here, right. Anyone who says about, when you look at Jimenez today, right, he don't drift wide.
Tony class, Jimenez class.
Right?
No. And I don't get the rotation when Antonio replaces Benrahma. Benrahma goes up top, Antonio goes wide. I don't get that.
It's all over the place.
We're not good enough to play a false nine. That's the difference. We're not Man City. Yeah. We're not Man City. We're not good enough to play a false nine. We need an out-and-out striker. And that's why I'm begging and praying that Brentford go down and we can pick up Tony on the cheap.
We should have had cheap, but Ivan Tony should have been in the door a long time ago, mate.
Exactly.
When he was at Peterborough,
yeah.
I was calling for him for a long time. We just got to hope
that Brentford go down, so they'll lose him, because he won't.
I was calling for Rico Henry for a long time. I said, go and get Rico.
Same here,
I'd love Rico Henry.
They said supposedly the rumor was that he said he was too small. That was what they said.
I remember that. But mate, we need like a dynamic fullback. When you've got, not being funny, but attacks are never created when you've got Cresswell and Fornals on that left side. They do one or two little passes, but there's nothing dangerous. Like they just fuck about with it in that little left side there. They can't do anything. Cresswell can't cross from deep anymore like he used to be able to. He's only good on dead balls. He's struggling to cross this season.
Bang on.
Did Lanzini do anything after coming on? Lanzini try and make things happen.
It was right. Composed. Didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Just played a bit deeper. Done all right.
Yeah,
The subs made a difference, Jazz. Right, the subs made a difference because we started playing at 75th minute.
Exactly. The double. It's right. The double sub made the difference. The double sub made the difference.
And it's just gutting, mate. It's just gutting. What it is when people say about we don't need a striker, let's go and get Jesse Lingard. I want to see Jesse Lingard and a fucking striker in the building because we need options and a left back and a centre half.
Actually, look at that bench. That bench is pretty old and poor. Noble, Yarmolenko, Lanzini. I mean, there's nothing there that sparks someone
the
young.
difference is, Jazz, is that Lanzini's good, but like we're saying, we've got the potential to make a step up here. To be from a mid-table team to a team fighting to Europe, for a team that's fighting the Champions League. So, unfortunately, as much as we might love Lanzini, and I always feel bad for him because that injury that he got when he was in the Argentinian squad, that took him out, that just cut him to pieces. And the same with Yarmolenko with that injury. I mean, that took any possible talent that he had away. I mean, that really cut both of them down. But we just got to cut our losses. It's like when you look at these things, it's like an old car, isn't it? Sometimes you throw good money after bad, and I think that's the point where we just need to say, you know what, Lanzini, Yarmolenko, thanks, but we need to bring in that level of player just above him.
I don't think Lanzini though is like
I'd keep
that
Lanzini.
bad.
He's a decent squad player.
Yeah, he's a good squad player, but one thing we do lack in the whole aspect of things is breakaway pace. Jared Bowen's the only one who's got pace. Fornells hasn't got pace. Antonio is like an headless chicken. Has lost his pace. Yeah, I agree there. And Ben Rama, another thing, I got the ump with Ben Rama today. And Jazz, you know how much I've been backing this geezer up. He don't run at people no more. He's scared to run at people. I tell you
what.
And the
one time he did, mate, he got it taken off. Did you see that? At one time, he ran straight into him, tried to do, I think it was a step over, and lost it straight away.
But
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
But what it was, he done it another time though, Matt, where he actually did get into the box. He beat someone, got into the box, and then the ball comes in, and there's no one there. I'm like he's just done the hard work.
Because Antonio's drifting wide, mate. That's the problem. The same thing as always. When you're playing one striker up top, like when you see the classic teams like a Drogba. Remember when Chelsea basically introduced the 4-2-3-1 in the Mourinho days back in 03, 04, 05, around those years. Drogba was in and around the box all the time because you don't have that luxury of allowing your striker to play that wide. When you're playing the formation that we're playing. And that's why we're begging for someone like Tony.
Joe, what was embarrassing today, Jazz? And I say, and Matt will agree, and Mitch will probably agree if Mitch has watched it. Antonio gets the ball, and he's crossing the ball into the box for Jared Bowen. Right, and Fornells. Right?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
And I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking to myself, right, you're supposed to be in the fucking box. You don't see, Jimenez fucking doing that. Do you know what I mean? You don't see Drogba doing that.
I don't get it.
James, did you see the one in the first half where Antonio made a mess of it wide, crossed it in, and then looked at Souček, who wasn't even in the box, saying, "Why weren't you in there, mate?" And it's like, you know what I mean? Because he actually looked on the screen. He said he looked at Souček like, "What's going on? Why weren't you there?" And it's like, at the end of the day, mate, you've got it twisted, because leave the ball out there. If Cresswell comes on the overlap or Fornells is there, leave it and make that run into the middle. And the thing is, if he goes out wide, give the ball to someone, and if he makes that sprint into the box, he's going to open a hole somewhere. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if they see Antonio sprinting into the box, someone's going with him. You know what I mean? Someone's going with him.
And the scoreline doesn't reflect the game. I just want to say that quickly, right? Because Wolves, that ain't just a narrow 1-0 defeat, and we have only lost 1-0. We was outplayed, outclassed. And Fabianski kept the score there, Jazz, in the second half. You see the 2 saves he did, though. The goal, maybe he could have done a little bit better, but it's a great strike. But other than that,
the two in the first half and the standing up against Jimenez for the little chip. I think it was the first half. That was brilliant. That was absolutely classic.
Do you think Bowen should have put one away and we would have nicked a 1-1?
He had a decent chance.
Yeah.
He should have done better, I think.
But then again, mate, Mitch.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, mate. Mitch, we've talked about this, Jazz. I mean, when I've talked with Jazz and James and other moments, not had the pleasure of talking with you, Mitch, before. So it's a pleasure, mate. We've talked about it with Jazz and James and Andy before. We can't rely on guys like Bowen because they're not clinical. You know what I mean? You know, they're not out and out strikers. And what we need is that clinical striker, that guy that you put it at his feet, left or right foot, whatever it is. And you know he's going to be hitting the target. And we can't depend on Bowen because he can have that brilliant game or brilliant run of games where he will score. He'll be like in the lights of someone like Liverpool. And then he'll have a couple of average games, you know. But the work rate you can't knock. But we can't be depending on Bowen for our goals.
You're all explaining a team that's out of confidence. I mean, how the hell can that happen? This is a team
I'll go through it, Jazz.
Yeah, that's weird.
Jazz, I'll go through it with you, mate, quickly. Yeah, and I'll just see if everyone agrees or not. I thought Fabianski played pretty decent. The only thing I will criticise Fab today is that he didn't get the ball out fast enough. It was always like slow, and the one time he throws it out fast, he throws it in front of Declan Rice, who's swarmed, and then they have another chance. Right, that's the first thing. I thought Ben Johnson played okay today. I must admit, I thought Ben Johnson was the best outfield player that we had, in my opinion. I thought he was trying to cross the ball, he was trying to run down the line, he was trying to work.
He looked like he cared, mate. He looked like he cared.
He was trying, right? He was trying. Craig Dawson. I'm sorry, but Issa Diop has to be in with Zuma next game. There's no excuses.
We fucking said it. This is what winds me up. I fucking said it, and we all spoke about it. It's not hard to see that Wolves are a good team. They open up space. They find those long balls, which we spoke about yesterday, and then you fucking start him.
And like I mentioned earlier, and John's just put it there. I mentioned it earlier. Zuma on the right hand side. He's our rock. You know what I mean? We moved Zuma across to accommodate an injury. But that's like we get another injury in another place and we move Declan Rice. You don't move these key players.
Square pegs in round holes, Matt.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
You keep the spine of the team intact.
Yeah.
Which is Zuma, right-hand side defender, Deck where he is, and you move and adjust players around that.
Yeah. And I'll get to Zuma now. I thought Zuma was poor today because he's all over the place. Right? He's all over the place. Cresswell. All right, what Mitchell said's absolutely bang on. Set pieces, corners, free kicks. Yeah, he's all right, but everything else, he's not. Right, he can't cross the ball. He's passing into space, and he's not passing to find the man. It's a hopeful pass and an accurate pass. Right, but that was in today. Thomas Souček, I'm sorry, but whoever gives him any praise tonight is fucking deluded. Right, because I thought
one of the worst players
on the pitch all day long. Declan. It's hard to criticise him because he's been absolutely amazing for us, but he weren't on it today. I don't know whether it was the illness or
I think so,
that he's had or whatnot. But what the difference is with Declan, before I carry on, is that when them subs come on, he turned into a completely different player.
Definitely.
Right? Yep. It was like Declan Rice was shit up to 75 minutes. You bring the subs on, he turns into world-class Declan Rice again. And it's like
but they started moving to give him options, mate. Like I said, the thing is, you looked at Rice a couple of times and there was one where he picked the ball up on the left-hand side and he had about 4 people ahead of him, but they were all standing behind defenders. They weren't making any movement, and he moved it back into Vlasic, and Vlasic actually came in on a diagonal to pick up the ball. Everybody else was leggy up front and didn't, because at the end of the day, when you pick up the ball as a central defensive midfielder, and you turn to play ahead, you need those forward movements, breaking off a defender, moving wide, and we just did, those 1 or 2 steps, mate, that open space, and it just wasn't happening for him.
And as I was saying, right, I thought Jared Bowen, there's no end product there. He does everything else decent. There's no end product, and I've always said this. And Jazz, me and you spoke about this. He turns from a £35 million player into a £65 million player if he starts scoring goals. It's as simple as that. Right, he's got everything else. He
goes from West Ham to Liverpool.
Right. Ben Rama today, weight of passing was absolutely shocking, and I will criticise him. Right, I thought he was nothing there. He don't run at players no more. Ben Rama, right? For some reason, this geezer last year, and I had people saying, "Oh, he's not doing enough last year," and all this crap, right? He was running at people. This year, he's not running at no one. It's always the simple pass with Ben Rama. You see it in Genk, right? When West Ham were under pressure, he went, "Fuck this! I'm getting the ball and running at people." And he runs at people and scores a goal, and we should have won the game. Pablo Fornals, Pablo Fornals for me today was just not there, invisible.
Yeah.
And then you get to Antonio, who I've got to admit, people say Souček's the worst player on the pitch. I thought Antonio was absolutely shocking today.
For me, mate, it was the worst player on the pitch. Was a tough competition between Souček, Fornals, and Antonio. For me,
Matt, I was thinking.
For me, Antonio was clearly the worst player. By margin.
I was thinking if I was Antonio in Jamaica, I wouldn't have come back November, December. That's the time to be up there.
No, and the thing was, he was hyping up coming back on Instagram, on TikTok, on whatever, putting his videos, hyping about how they were bringing him back early, and you go and put a performance in like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. He was hyping it up, like, oh, look, thanks to David Sullivan for sending me this plane. So you thought to yourself, well, at least, they're doing me a massive favor, like they said. Not only the 50 grand, but the carbon footprint that, everybody's talking about. We were criticized about, flying players over privately and the effect it has on the environment. And he's hyping it up. And then he comes back and plays like that. You know what I mean?
I think Antonio's overlapped, mate, if I'm honest. I really do. I look at Antonio, right? Yeah, he's good on his day, but his days are few and far between. Right? And something Jazz said to me about a month ago about Souček. I thought about it. I thought, you're bang on the money. Last year, we used to praise Souček up, saying Souček was amazing, he done great. But was it that we was just saying that because he scored the goals?
Yeah,
because the rest of his game, right? Like, you don't look at someone's rest of their game if they're banging the goals in. And now you're starting to see that with Antonio. If Antonio don't score no goals, what does Antonio really do? Right?
I mean, how are them two, Moutinho and Neves? Because I love one of them next to Rice.
They play well in midfield. Neves was six. That's the difference. Neves is up in midfield. He shows he offers himself to the ball. He was here, there, and everywhere. Souček, and you look at someone like Souček.
Exactly.
Like it was nowhere.
One dimensional.
You give Souček the ball. He can't take any more than one touch because he can't control the ball. He can't bring it forward. So he just looks like he's an absolute mess. His arms are like that all the time. He don't know what he's going to do. He's got to take one touch and then pass because he can't bring it forward.
You've got Yao Martino, right? They've got Yao Martino in their midfield, mate. Who's like fucking about 35, 34 years old, right? And he fucking ran the show today.
He was a Cadillac today, mate. He was a Cadillac.
Yeah.
I don't think we need Rice and Souček in the same team. I think Rice is so good, he does two people's jobs because he's young. I think we need one of these two in there to dictate the play like Modric, grab the ball.
We need like that Tielemans, that kind of Neves.
Yeah.
What we need, gentlemen, is Alex Crowell. And I've been calling for this geezer to play because he's got energy. He's like a bulldog. He gets around the pitch, he gets stuck in. He's like a Pablo Fornals, but just not but defensively wise. Like he will get amongst it. He's quality.
Like Jazz says, Rice does a job. I mean, we're stuck with a 4-2-3-1 that we basically don't change up particularly much, What about a 4-1-4-1? Stick that other man in midfield.
But then you've got to look at Moyes today, though, mate, ain't you? Because Moyes today...
I mean, I'd be tempted for a 4-1-4-1 and stick Crowell in the centre midfield, or stick Lanzini in there and go for a 4-1-4-1, which has worked in a lot of teams as well.
See, I don't understand that comment there from John. I'm not criticising John's comment at all, but he says Crowell will get a chance in the next 6 weeks. He's been here since the beginning of September, and he's had one game. Like he should have been. There's been games this year when Crowell should have been on the pitch. Right, Brentford at home, he should have been on the pitch. Souček was poor. Right, today,
coming back from international break yet again, mate.
Right, Everton. Right, they go and take Souček off, and they go and bring on Oxy Lanzini. Right, and Crowell's a like-for-like replacement, and Lanzini's on the pitch. It just makes no sense. It's like, to me, Jazz, right, with that, it's something to do with the contract here. To me, there's got to be something to do with the contract.
That's what someone was saying earlier. Yeah, could be, mate.
Right, it has to be something to do with the contract, because why is this bloke who's sitting on the bench, and what Mitch said earlier is bang on, right? Mark Noble's playing more, is getting more games in Europe than Crowell.
Yeah.
How does that make any sense? It just makes no sense to me.
That's what Disabled was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that, I mean, we love Moyes, but there's some of these moments that we had last year where we just don't understand it. You know what I mean?
Luke's comments, like Mitchell's comments, isn't it?
100%. And do you know what hurts the most? Do you know what really, really hurts the most? And I'm not saying Man United are a major force this year or nothing, but at half time, Manchester United are 2-0 down, I think they were, against Watford. They must have been in there going, come on, right? This is a moment. They come out in the second half and it's like, no, we just carry on playing the same way we've just been playing for the first 45 minutes. I'm absolutely gutted, mate. I can't.
It was a crucial game, James. It was a crucial game
100%.
because, like, the thing is that I think that's where they say, "Oh, doesn't matter what happens, we can't drop out of the top 4." Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? This is the game that we need to solidify our position where we were. You know what I mean? And at least come away with a point because we know that Wolves are not a sleeping giant, but more of a sleeping beast. Because they're not playing up to their full potential. You know, if we look at them man for man, you know, obviously when Santo Nuno left, we know that they weren't playing well. That's why, you know, the change of manager's done well. Well, it should do well for them. But at the end of the day, it's one of these games that we want to come away with a point because we've got tough games coming up. And at the end of the day, we need that base to build on for the rest of the season. And it's easy to say, oh, we're doing well, we shouldn't complain. Why not? You know what I mean? We're doing well. We've got this absolutely wonderful chance that we don't see very often. And this is where we really need the players to step up to that level.
Right,
and take the bull by the horns and say, fuck it, we're a top 4 team. You know, and not just say, oh, we want to go to Wolves and see what we can get, but it doesn't matter because we're not going to drop out the top 4. No. We need to win this game and move on.
Isn't it?
And that's something I cannot stand. There's nothing I hate more than seeing people saying, "Oh, don't worry, we're third. You know, we've played well up to this point. Let's just scrap this loss and move on." If we can give praise for when we do well, we can also criticise when we do poorly.
Exactly.
Simple as that. Hang on, because there is no fence, Mitch. No. That's the reason, and that is you're either left or you're right. And I agree with everything you just said there. Right. We're supposed to seize the moment, right? This is our moment to go to Wolves and fucking get a win and go, you know what, make a... Right? And do you know what was more embarrassing today? When Wolves fans are singing Champions League, you're having a laugh. Fucking Wolves fans are singing that to us, right? And that is embarrassing.
Not standing.
And James, we could quite easily walk away over the next few games with another couple of losses if we're not careful. And how will the season change? How will the season change?
If we play like that in the next 3 games, and the next 3 games, correct me if I'm wrong, was Man City, Brighton, and Chelsea.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah, that's it.
Right, we're going to get hammered. Right, we're going to get hammered and literally get hammered. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
but that's it, mate. This was the game to take the points. This was the game to take the points. And at the end of the day, mate, it's one of those ones that, you know, Chelsea right now, no one wants to play him. Being honest, they are immense right now. Man City can turn it on those wonderful games. Brighton are always tough for us, especially this year. Brighton are looking funnily enough, a lot more solid since they sold Ben White for a massive overpriced amount. They're looking a lot more solid at the back. And at the end of the day, Arsenal are coming up as well. You know, there's a lot of teams coming up from below us that could quite easily nip in and nick our spot. So, I mean, you know, we're looking now, if we're not careful and we don't turn this around, you know, we could easily look at 1 or 3 points out of the next 9. And if we put that into factor the other teams that are coming up, we could be sitting here, instead of talking about 4th place, we could be talking about being in 7th or 8th.
There's no excuse now, just to say this, because I'm going to show, because I'm going to go do something on mine. There's no excuse now, a striker's needed. There is I don't want to hear no more people saying, oh, we don't need a striker, we get Jesse Lingard in. Fuck that. We get Jesse Lingard and a striker in. That's what big clubs do, right? And if we're going to act like a big club, and we're going for Champions League, teams that go for Champions League don't have one striker at the club who's a winger, right? So
or a right back.
Or a right back, yeah, I mean, or a centre half, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. Thanks anyway, James. Cheers.
No worries, mate. I'm off. Later's back.
Much appreciate that. I think Andy brought up a fact last night was that the Wolves haven't conceded a goal from a set piece. And was there any set pieces that we tried, or is there something they do really good at defending them? Perhaps
Not even that. We can't even rely on set pieces all the time to bail us out. This season we've really, I think, and I've said it time and time again, we keep struggling to create chances. We can't break teams down. I've noticed. We keep going to the wings all the time and trying to cross it in, aimlessly crossing it in. And I think sometimes we need to look to the middle and kind of mix up the play, do some switch balls, like not just switch balls in the middle of the park where we're switching it to the other right back. We need to do some proper diagonals straight inside on the edge of the box, and then first time whipping it in or into the middle, and then choosing which way you go in. Because we keep going doing this stupid fucking shit with Cresswell and Fornals on the left side. We keep fucking about of it. 1-2, 1-2, back to Cresswell, hoof. They get it and they go forward. Same thing again. Cresswell, Fornals. Cresswell puts in a stupid, shitty little cross, and that's it.
And you know another thing, mate, that I think has made a difference from last season? Souček with his goals. And why does Souček score goals? Because he was more of a box-to-box midfielder with his legs, with before he was knackered, he was more of and he's one of these players that was right place, right time. You know what I mean? If you look at most of Souček's goals, they were right place, right time.
Oh yeah. Do you think you're lucky? You think you're quite lucky?
Not very lucky, but that's a skill, getting lucky. Why? Because he put the work rate in. And now that he's not at 100%, he's not getting into those positions. So, I mean, I don't know how many goals he scored last year. I think it was 8, 9, 10. He got quite a few goals last year. And this year, if he doesn't offer these goals, and like you say, with the way that he's playing in the centre of the park, like you said, not the best first touch, can't run with the ball. I mean, he's not offering as much as he used to do in the team. And we're carrying him, to be honest, or Rice is carrying him there in the middle of the park. He's piggybacking on Rice.
Rice deserves someone that can complement him really well.
Exactly, that's it.
Is there place for all three? Like, don't stop the music suggesting. It's hard, isn't it, to put Souček, Rice?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I would prefer a 4-1-4-1.
I mean, comment from Jay Woods. I mean, was it that? It didn't seem to me that Wolves sat back, did they? I mean, I didn't watch it, but judging by what I was reading, did Wolves sat back?
What?
No,
they counter-attack. I think what that might mean there is that they counter-attack well. With the formation that they play, with the three at the back, they counter-attack and they break
I haven't seen any teams that sit back anymore, Matt, for at least a year.
They didn't sit back.
No,
they look like they sat back because we didn't offer bodies going forward.
Exactly. And they counter well, mate. And it's not as if they sit back, but they counter well. And like we talked, their movement today, mate, I was really impressed by their running off the ball. They were getting in through gaps, into spaces. Their movement off the ball made a big difference to their game today. And I think that's maybe why they looked like they were sitting back. But like Mitch says, it wasn't that they were sitting back. It's just that when they did counter, they did it really well and they pulled our pants down,
Someone doesn't know the score. We lost 1-0, mate. Moby's not happy with us. He says we're a little bit too negative. So perhaps we need to think about overall, like, we are in a good position,
it was a crucial game, Jazz. It was a crucial game because we've got three fucking hard games coming up.
Yeah,
Jazz, you've got to take the rugby smooth. As I said earlier, if you're going to praise players when we do well, you can also criticise them when we do poorly.
Yeah, I mean, hoping sort of everyone still has a nice weekend and sort of get back to the drawing board. We've got Rapid Vienna on Thursday away behind closed doors, we've been told. Yeah. And I've heard people, because of lockdown, they should get their money back now, I think, because of that. So see how that goes. Hopefully, we just need a point, I think, don't we, everyone? About a point we need.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Jazz. For me, that teammate is leave Antonio out, leave Souček out, even leave Rice out. Just really rest these players. And just stick a team out that will get a point. Like someone said in the comments, maybe, I don't know if Oko Flex is registered for European football. I've not seen, I don't know the registered team, but at least just go out there, stick a team out that will get us our point and move on, because at the end of the day, with these 3 games that are coming up, it's worrying. Playing Chelsea like they're playing right now, we need everybody at 100%. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, that one thing is common, though. I've never seen our fans this pissed before. Everyone is fuming. You saw James got sort of steam was coming out of him. But hopefully everyone have a glass of wine or whatever, and we can
or tequila, mate.
It is what it is. It's happened. What can we do? We just hopefully we'll at least buy some players that you're going to bloody use. I mean, we have a go at the board. They've given you 2 players. I mean, Zuma hands up, great signing. At least use what you've been given, isn't it? I mean, otherwise, what's the point? You know. And Vlasic, that concern gets slightly bigger, doesn't it? Every game. I mean,
I can't see Vlasic working out. If I'm being honest, I know people say give him time. I really can't see it working out.
Well, I don't know. I would like to give him time because I think we afforded time. The 3 players in Fornals, Benrahma and Bowen, we all afforded them time. So I think
it's a bit different though because Bowen started off well straight away. Fornals is one exception. He didn't start off great. But Benrahma always looked like he had that something. He was still beating players. He just couldn't score.
Yeah, I agree.
I know you can always act clever after the events happen. When you look at the money we give Vlasic and you look at the deals that have been done for Grady, for who's that winger Everton signed as well? Townsend, Gray, and all those guys. I mean, they could have done the job for us. What Vlasic has done, an equal par free transfers, and
it's not even about signing Vlasic. It's that we signed Vlasic over a striker. That's what I don't get.
I think that Vlasic. I said this a long time ago. I think that Vlasic was signed because we couldn't hold on to Lingard. So I think that they wanted to give someone to Moyes in Lingard's place, but I just don't think it's worked out as a direct like for like. I thought they thought he was going to come in for a like for like in place of Lingard, and unfortunately we've seen that that's not been the case so far.
Bit worrying, lads. Bit worrying. I mean, I've been looking. I know we shouldn't talk about, but the Liverpool game. I mean, I had a look at the Liverpool lineup, and it's pretty poor. I mean, they've got Robertson's injured.
Yeah.
Alcantara, Oxen, Fabinho, midfield. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Arsenal. I mean, I've had a look at that lineup. Liverpool, it's not impressive.
Arsenal are coming up, mate. They are coming up. I mean, they're not brilliant, but they are. They're getting results, mate. They're getting results.
Sitting back. Yeah, they're sitting back, mate, completely, and see what happens. Though, Andy was due to join us live from the ground, but I haven't heard from him, so I'm assuming 2 things.
Well, he talks to himself.
He's angry. He's angry as what we are, or his battery's playing up, really. But
the thing, everyone. I was talking to some guys before the game, and they're saying, "Our Wolves haven't been great, whatever." They're not far behind us now. What they must be 4 points behind us, I guess. No, about 4 points behind us.
I think another thing is everyone is okay. David Moyes, your confidence must be sky high. So everyone you buy, it works out. Any formation you play, it works out. But you got to. I think the respect we haven't respected them enough. I think Wolves. We should have perhaps tweaked it. And I know you can't win or lose. I mean, if you did put a more defensive lineup and we again lost 1-0, then we would have perhaps jumped up and down. But it looks like the way the game's gone, we couldn't stop the flow of attacking. We needed to bulk up a bit more in the middle, wasn't it? Perhaps. And
we really struggled in midfield today. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, perhaps if you look in this game, Corral and all them lot could have come in and stopped it.
Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, I mean, we all know Wolves are like us. We play in such a specific way all the time, don't we? We know with Wolves.
I couldn't get my head around that yesterday, Matt. I don't know if you saw the ground. Mitchell, I saw the show. Mitchell was on the show. Mitchell, I was just worried. I didn't know what to do about that formation. I'm like, no one else plays it. What do you do? I mean, I thought it was risky from Wolves because they're, like you said, they're on the front foot a lot. They attack in numbers, but there's no system. And they perhaps just, when they attack, there's no system either. They just all run up front, gung-ho, and you get in there, you're getting in there. I didn't know how to. I thought flat back 4 ain't going to work against Wolves. I didn't think so. I don't know. Perhaps that's the way the game went, I think.
It's a very modern system, which we can adapt to.
Look, Jazz, just so you can see, mate. I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if the cam works. Let me see 1 sec. Look. Average positions of the players here. Look at where Fornals is. Number 8 behind Cresswell.
It was so deep.
Look at that. It's like we were playing fight. Yeah. Look at Benrahma, right in the centre circle, average position.
There's a gap. Tony's on by himself, isn't he?
Yeah, and look at the gap on the left-hand side. No one going forward. That's what Mitch was saying. And average. I always look at average player positions because it does give you that little bit of analysis. And like they were saying, Fornals today, I just don't think he got out of it, and I just think he was.
What about that? That Cann guy's only on loan from RB Leipzig. How did he play? Was he quite?
It's all right. It wasn't special. Done well.
Jazz, look at this, mate. Look, here you see. Look at the Wolves positions. Look at the average Wolves positions.
Oh yeah,
they didn't sit back, mate.
Together.
Look at that.
Yeah,
and look at how far forward their average positions are. They've got 6 players in our half average position, and we've only got almost three in their half. You know what I mean?
Lethargic, aren't we? Lethargic.
Yeah, it just did, like I say, it just wasn't a good game. We just didn't get it going today. And we just didn't look that attack because when West Ham are on form, we are hell of an attacking threat. You know what I mean?
Perhaps you'll be happy it's only 1-0, mate.
I disagree, mate. I don't think we are. I don't think we've seen that. I tell you what, because we can't break teams down. I keep saying that. We just can't.
We're a counter-attacking team, mate, aren't we? We do.
We do score a lot of goals, Mitchell. We do score.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
We do score.
Start the season, I would have said so, but I think since the start of the season, I don't think we've actually gone. Wow, that was a well done goal. That was a well created goal. A lot of them have been scrappy goals or set pieces goals. Or
I think Leicester was a good performance, wasn't it? The one
that's what I'm saying. Start of the season. Start of the season.
I like watching us go forward. To be honest, I do like watching it. I think we do. When everybody's clicked, I think we're okay. I think we're good. But like you say, because we've got such a lack of squad depth, if somebody's not on it or 2 people are not on it, things do fall.
I don't think we've done enough in the window. I don't think we've done I don't think so. I want people who really make an impact and help the team last season. I can't see it. Okay, Zuma. I think we should have done better. We should have.
And also now that we're in this position and we're looking decent, we need to be targeting top players. Now, Cantwell is all right, but Cantwell's not a player we should be looking at. If we want to go, we're in Europa League now. We need to be looking at Europa League and above quality players. Cantwell ain't that. So I want to see players with a lot of pace. I want to see some really quick players. I keep going back to this. I want to see players with dynamism, like the St. Maximins.
Lingard had a lot of pace, and he could break away. I saw that guy.
Zaha, 100%. Lingard, 100%.
Yeah, Lingard was so quick. Do you remember we couldn't keep up with him? We couldn't even keep up with him when he used to run, play.
And that goal that West Ham that he liked, that goal. When we saw, if you watch that goal against Wolves last year, I mean, that goal against Wolves last year, that what Soufal did in that goal to start it off, and you saw him flying up, bombarding up on the right wing from him starting to play, and drag the players wide with him, and that was the difference of Lingard. You know what I mean? Like we talked about Ben Rama when he used to run at players. On that goal, I don't know if you guys remember it. That Soufal started it. The West Ham published it again. It was the one that Lingard liked on Instagram. Soufal moves and breaks down the right-hand side. 9 players out of 10 would have passed it out to him. You know what I mean? So it could get the crossing. And that was the difference. Lingard broke in on a diagonal on the left-hand side into the centre of the field and scored. You know what I mean? So that's that difference, like Mitch was saying, with those kind of players that just have a plan B, a second option. It's not always go for the obvious pass, the obvious play. They're willing to.
That's what we've done today.
Exactly, and that's what we need, mate. We need those plan B players, those guys that are willing to mix it up a little bit different, go for something different, because we'll end up like one of these teams, look at Leeds, for example, from last year to this year. They find you out. You know what I mean? Look at Leeds. Leeds last year, bombing it, and but this year, look where they are. Okay, apart from their defending, but what I mean is people know how to play against them. And that's what we don't want. We don't want to become that team that here's West Ham. They're a good team. They're a solid team, but we know how to beat them. You know what I mean?
I tell you, I'm glad the check money's coming because that usually means I don't think the board had any money, mate. I think the Vlasic and a couple of other deals they probably haven't even.
Sullivan said it, Jazz, didn't he? In that interview he did in his house when he said, "You guys think I've got money, but I've got assets. I don't have cash." He said it himself.
We had one of the poorest owners by wealth, if you look at the table, and now suddenly
he's got assets, mate. But he doesn't have cash.
I think we've gone up to 4th or 5th richest owners or 3rd now.
But you work in finance, mate. You know the difference between having assets and having cash flow available to spend. You know what I mean? And you know that they say that Sullivan's most of his money's in property. he's not going to start selling property investments to stick money into the club. We know that.
I mean, they would have been wealthy owners if, like, from the 80s and 90s. But when you up against the Chelsea, it's a different ball game, you know. And even Ashley said, "Listen, hands up, I can't compete, and I'm going to come out of it." And fair enough, he's come out of it. And this guy, I heard, apparently he's going to inherit 15 billion, which I wasn't aware of.
His father-in-law, isn't it? That it's
wow.
His father-in-law is super wealthy.
Good. Anyway, lads, any other last comments? I think before we sort of close down, I think, and just go back.
One final thing. Just, and I think this the last point I'll make is I'd like to see Fornals play more central again. I think centrally is better, and keep Benrahma on the wing, because down the left, Fornals doesn't do anything on the left. I think on the centre is where his best position is.
Yeah,
and Mitchell,
and my final point.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No, my final point. Moving on, exactly what Mitch says. Maybe to mix it up there with a 4-1-4-1, with move Benrahma out on the wing, give him that little bit of movement to run on the left-hand side, for example, Bowen on the right, leave Rice, like you said, Jazz, because he can do that role by himself there, and stick Fornals in the middle with someone else, maybe a Crowell, whoever, and then mix it up a little bit, see if that can give us any other options in games like this, because that's the thing. You see the best teams, they're more willing to change up their formations mid-game, you know what I mean, and not just hammer with the same formation. And maybe that would have been a game, like you said, Jazz, maybe they could have turned around and stuck us 3 at the back, you know, because it was, from the start, it was obvious that whatever we were doing wasn't working, wasn't it, Mitch? It was a game that from the beginning, we saw that the way that we were playing, we weren't going to get goals. So maybe that's where we could have mixed it up, could have stuck Creswell left centre-back, you know, and gone with 3 at the back and changed it up. And then we would have gone man for man, you know, a 3-5-2 against a 3-5-2, for example, or a 5-4-1 5-4-1 versus 5-4-1. But I mean, well, that's what we pay Moyes for. So, you know, hopefully
he started being a bit more proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit of overconfidence has come in. I think that includes some of the deals in the summer for Vlasic, Crowell. Like James said, I can't say nothing against Crowell because I haven't seen him, and what I saw, I thought he's pretty useful. Vlasic, I'm very concerned. I haven't seen nothing. Souček's form, very concerned. I haven't seen nothing. I don't notice him. All I've noticed is Rice. I don't notice Souček next to him. Everyone else has done okay, so hopefully it's a blip. Bowen's been okay up to now. Fornals has been okay up to now. Antonio isn't a long-term solution. Who do we sign? All you guys know I love Mitrovic, but perhaps he's 1 or 2 years. I mean, he's only 26. He's only 26. I don't know if he's... I don't know. I love that guy.
I think he's lower half quality, mate. I think he offers a lot. I think he'd be a budget Arnautovic, to be honest. He's a second-rate Arnautovic, and there's no disrespect for him because he's a great player. But like we're talking about, and we've been mentioning, you know, we're making that next step up, and I don't think he's consistent enough. I think he would frustrate us because on a great day he can be a real shithouse and score goals. On a bad day. Like you were talking about when I was talking about that time about Hudson-Odoi, and I said, well, I like him, and then you told me, you know, the truth about him, which I didn't realise, you know, that he was inconsistent, and I think you were saying Fulham fans know that didn't rate him at all.
Who?
That's what Hudson-Odoi did. Loftus-Cheek.
Loftus-Cheek, sorry, mate. Sorry, gone crazy there. Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, he's doing well now, though.
Yeah, I always liked him, but then talking with Jazz, he told me, you know, that if you look at him really. No, you corrected me, mate, because I mean,
let's see how many games he's played this season. I don't know.
It's the perspective that you get, isn't it? You know, me watching him from an occasional game here, and then Jazz talking with. You said your mates were at Fulham, though, and said that they just didn't rate him at all.
Yeah, he couldn't get a club. It was that bad a reputation with him. But like Mitchell said, he's got a few number of games under him. Ross Barkley, he's up for grabs. I don't know about him. His career's going the wrong way, but David Moyes has got links with him. Lingard looks pretty much through the door, and I'm quite happy about that. But like James said, let's not stop there. Let's go for 1 or 2 more and make sure we nail a European place. You know,
I'd like a young, promising left back that we could get on a fairly cheap deal as well.
Where does Lamptey play? I love him. He's on
the right.
Right back.
Oh,
Right
he's
back,
great.
yeah.
He's great, full of energy.
Yeah,
and
he's
everything.
nice.
I like him. But yeah, it is what it is. Any more closing comments about any other players you want in the summer?
No, mate, just keep the faith. Just keep the faith. You know, even though we're doom and gloom, maybe this has been our cathartic moment, so we can get out our stress and our annoyance. But keep the faith. You know, we've got a team that can do it. But I mean, these 3 games coming up before a busy Christmas period are going to be crucial. You know.
Yeah, I mean, we want to thank to the people who sort of tuned in, and we're closing towards 500 subscribers. Everyone, 9-10
Wow,
weeks
fantastic!
after
Congrats.
launch. And we've got a surprise message from an ex-West Ham player next week we'll put that out once we reach 500. Me and Andy are doing something tomorrow, so I probably won't tell you what it is, and there'll be a video on it next week. And Football Fantasy Show enters episode 2 on Monday with me and Mike. So we'll also, anyone who used to play Championship Manager 97-98, we've nailed down an interview with an expert, and in the coming weeks he'll come on the show and we'll talk about, for me, it's a very special game. I absolutely got hooked on it, so we'll talk about that in the coming weeks. And we're trying to do 2-3 more shows. You know, we always want to do something different so we're working in the pipeline, and we're working on something. One thing I'm really excited about, it will work, and then the other one will be, again, 2-3 different people. And you guys obviously make it really good, and we've got a great group of analysts and lads like yourself. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mitchell.
Take care, guys.
Smile, guys, and hopefully everyone has
come on, you irons.
Yeah, definitely. Come on, you irons.
Bye, mate. Bye, Mitch.
Nice to meet you, mate. Take care.